All right, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 78 of Android Journal. Today's Tuesday, November the 11th.
I'm Bruce Turner in Melbourne, Florida tonight.
I'm Jeff Zayas in Napa, California.
And I'm Robert Taylor in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Hey, I'm Duke Carrico on tonight's Android Journal. Well, LG and Motorola beat Google to the lollipop punch. Hey, Microsoft offers Office for the low price of free, and Amazon's got a new home assistant. Hey, gang, welcome to episode 78. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yep, doing well.
Very good. Hey, Bruce, I understand you had a death in the family last week.
Yeah, I did. My Note 2 died, a really hard death. I was in the last month of my contract, and it just died. It started rebooting spontaneously, at least once or twice a day for a few days, and then on Saturday, last Saturday, it spontaneously rebooted 3 times, and the third time it just got stuck at the Samsung Galaxy Note screen. But I had insurance on it, and so they didn't replace it with a Note 2. There aren't any Note 2s. I thought maybe they'd replace it with a Note 3, but they replaced it with a Samsung Galaxy Alpha, which is not bad considering it only cost me $99 of my deductible. It's a phone they released last month, not as big as the Note, but it's been a good phone, and I'm out of contract on November the 29th, so not bad for $99.
I hear you. And Bruce, you know, I'd tempt you. You know, whenever a new phone would come out, you'd always compare it against that Note 2, and the Note 2 always won. So I know you really, really like that device.
Oh yeah, and I would have kept it a good while longer.
Good deal. Well, I'll tell you what's the truth. I guess that Alpha it is in line to get some lollipop love, right?
Absolutely. That Note 2 would have never gotten lollipop.
There you go. And you know, Bruce, I guess the question I've got is, you know, I've got a Nexus 5, and you know, last year everybody was hitting KitKat right at Halloween, and here it is, guys, November the 11th, and the only official versions of lollipop can only be found in a Nexus 6 or a Nexus 9, Google's new flagship devices. So you know, word has started leaking out over the last, I don't know, probably 10 days now. You know, it looks like LG has announced that they're going to be pushing lollipop this week, okay? And Motorola is pushing out some soak tests to some individuals. So I guess, hey, is LG and Motorola going to beat Google to the punch on lollipop? What do you think, Robert?
Well, I don't know. It sure seemed that way, and it is very unusual for device manufacturers to, you know, jump Google so quickly like this. But don't get excited, because they're doing this in Poland, right? It's not the U.S. And every time, you know, a new release comes out here in the U.S., of course, the big 3 carriers have to get their mitts in the middle of it. So even though the manufacturers themselves may sound like they're ready to go, I'm not so sure that the carrier is going to jump on board and just immediately start releasing, because they want to put their little bloatware into it. So Google may still get the jump here in the U.S., but it definitely appears internationally, where carriers are not quite so involved, they're definitely going to get usurped.
Well, I've been seeing some rumors that, you know, tomorrow Google will begin pushing out lollipop. Most of the people who have seen lollipop, who are running some of the developer ROMs, have been very impressed with it for a lot of things, a lot of features, the new notifications. We're going to be running the ART runtime versus the Dalvik, so you know there's a lot of cool things there. But you know, a lot of people are going to be a little bit upset. Google has never promised that Nexus devices would be first. They just have always promised that they would upgrade them. But yeah, if this kind of reverses things, but I think overall that it's a good thing that more devices get Lollipop, right, and not just Nexus devices.
And you never know. It could be that little bit of a marketing ploy about fragmentation of the Android operating system. Maybe this is a way of them to say that carriers are jumping more and more quicker, or the manufacturers are coming out more onto the latest operating system, and it's just not Google doing it themselves. So
well, and I think to be fair, Google has done a better job this time around of getting this latest version of Android into these carrier hands and these manufacturer hands to let them see it, and that has afforded LG and Motorola to be ready with this push.
Let me ask you this: there's been new versions of Gmail, new versions of Calendar, new versions of Google Drive, all with Material Design. What do you think their purpose in releasing those new 5.0 versions right before Lollipop? Is it to kind of get people acclimated to the look, the feel?
Well, I think it's the material design that Google is pushing for, period. And it's not just going to be the operating system; it's going to be the apps. They're showing developers how to do these things. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's part of the trend. It's where Google is pushing the whole Android sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they want to get developers on it, so the only way they can do it is show the app, how it looks, how it should look, right? This is how you want it to look, and the only way to do that is get it out there, let users have it.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, we guys, we got the inbox, and it's got that material design, and I know I demoed it here on the show. I was fortunate enough to be one of the earlier ones to get it. Bruce, are you using Inbox any at all?
I'm using a little bit. I just miss the being able to delete quicker to trash my emails. I like the new Gmail. I like being able to tap each one of them and then go right up there and click the trash can. On Inbox, I've got to tap all the ones I want. Then I got to click those little three dots, and then I can get to the trash. So, I've been not using Inbox as much this week as I did last week.
Where do you think this is going? Because you mentioned it. Gmail got updated. Are we going to have one or the other? Are we going to have both? Where's Google headed with Inbox, do you think?
Well, I think they got their finger in the air. They want to see which way the wind is blowing. I think it'd be a huge mistake to force everybody to Inbox when we've gotten used to dealing with email a certain way. It may be a gradual change, but it'd be a huge mistake to take away regular Gmail.
All right, fair enough. Anything else on the Lollipop, guys? If not, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see it on my Razer Max tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck with that, Jeff. You're in what, year 4 now, right? And as much as I love that phone, give it a break.
And in 4 years I haven't charged the battery once. It's amazing.
Hey, man. Microsoft has started pushing some of their Office suite to Android here recently, and they announced November 7th, as a matter of fact, that they've now got an app for Android tablets. But what's cooler than that? This app is for the low price of free. Okay? Now, let me make this clear. This is still for a personal account. This is not for, if you're any kind of business, you're still going to have some sort of a Microsoft service or a suite, okay? But I guess the question that I've got is, what does this mean, Bruce?
Well, I think it means that they are still concerned with Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and those types of things, and they want to try to keep people in the fold. You were talking about businesses, and I appreciate you sharing that because in the enterprise office, well, in the enterprise arena, in the enterprise suite, having Office on a tablet, and this is a tablet version, but a lot of times these Office versions that they put out free on these tablets, they're kind of Office light, if I can say that. Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not a full PowerPoint presentation would run on this. But I think they're trying to stay in the game when it comes to Google Apps.
Hey, Robert. Since we've you were just talking earlier today. You and I were talking. Your wife's kind of discovered Drive and Documents and how much she likes it. Do you think that Microsoft realizes that they've got to do this to stay relevant because of the competition from Google?
Well, I think without a doubt, it's not just Google, though I think Google might be the primary driver, but things like LibreOffice have definitely stepped on their toes some. So, definitely they've had to make a big move. I'm kind of shocked, though, because a good chunk of Microsoft's money comes from that Office Suite licensing. You start giving it away for free, or you're giving away the store. I'm a little bit concerned about. And even now, maybe it's too late, because while my wife was comfortable and fluent in using Word and Excel, it was more of a habit change to get her to use Google Drive. But now that she uses Google Drive, she bosses me around. She's like, go make a spreadsheet for our add-ons for our Santa letter website. And what ends up happening is that we share those documents now. The mere fact that we can both be editing those documents, it's free, it's easy. She's a convert. There's no sense in her going back to Microsoft Word now. It might be too late.
Yeah. And just on that note, yesterday in my real job, I was working with two others on a template that we're getting ready to roll out to approximately 600 people, and we got to talking, and basically we had one person editing the document while the other two were talking, and it just hit me. Oh man, if we were using Google Drive right now instead of SharePoint, okay, we could all three be in this thing just editing away. But yeah, that's a good point. I think this is I think Microsoft has reached a point to where they're going to have to play on Android and iOS, because these are, if you just look at the mobile platform, Microsoft is barely a player in this space. And I think that if they're going to stay relevant, this was a move that, they were forced to do it. It's not necessarily they wanted to do it. They were forced to do it.
Yeah, there's not like a billion Microsoft Surface tablets out there, right? So if they want to get into
warehouses, in warehouses,
yes. So so I think they understand that it doesn't make sense to do it any other way except be cross-platform. And again, this is a stripped-down version. I don't know what the full Office 365 subscription service gets you versus the personal version.
Well, it's getting you working versions of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. PowerPoint includes slide transitions. I mean, it sounds like it might not be complete, but it sounds like it's adequate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. I'm sure that maybe the collaborative efforts and then some other things. I think if you get the 365, you get unlimited storage on OneDrive or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive too. I agree, Jeff. Absolutely. Although I will say this, I mean, who really needs more than 100 gigs of storage? I mean, unless you're doing something extraordinary, and most aren't.
Speaking of which, my Chromebook is I might be coming up to my time limit pretty soon on my free 100 gigs of information. When you bought the Chromebook.
Yeah, okay. I think I've got on Google Drive, I think I've got 120 some gigs of free storage. I'm using about 18 gigs.
Oh yeah, yeah. So am I. I'm not using hardly anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hey guys, let's move on, man. Hey, I think this caught everyone off guard. Amazon Echo got introduced, and this thing is it's Siri and Google now for the home, and pretty interesting device. It's a tube device. It's more than anything else, it is a Wi-Fi speaker system, but it's got these mics, and you can ask it questions, and it goes out and searches Wikipedia and Google and comes back and gives you an answer. $200, but if you want to buy it under a Prime membership, they knock $100 off and you can get it for $99. Jeff, what do you think of this device, man?
Crazily enough, I'm always pro-device. I don't know why. So I kind of like the idea.
And Amazon's return policy.
I love Amazon returns policy. Yeah, which is part of my rant later on about Amazon. But I think for $99, it's a Wi-Fi speaker, like you said. It could be kind of interesting. So I actually clicked on the request an invite for it. So we'll see when the invite actually shows up what I do. But I don't know if I need it or really want it yet, but I think it's kind of cool. I think that for me it would be the music aspect, and a lot of times, I hate to say this, I ask my, well, how old is that actor? Or when I'm watching TV, and blah, blah, blah. So then I fire up my Chromebook, right? And then I get that, answer because I want to know that immediate gratification. This might be kind of cool just to keep it out there and just say, okay, Echo, how old is Pamela Anderson? And it'll come back and tell me.
46 years old.
Actually, no, it won't tell you because you have to use the key phrase.
Oh, Alexis or whatever it is?
Alexa. And Alexa. It's funny that there was no mention on whether you could change that or not, but I want to know where Alexa came from. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I think you can program it to wait to something other than Alexa. I think Alexa's the default, Robert.
Okay.
I believe I read that. I guess hey Bruce.
But it's not portable, right? It needs a battery. It doesn't have a battery in it. It's not rechargeable. Have a
battery. You got to plug it up. And but Bruce, I got a question for you. Is do you find this a little creepy? That this is always listening to everything that's going on in your house?
That's the word that I think of, creepy. I mean, I know they say, that it's only going to respond until it hears the, Alexa. But I tell you what, you probably, you may have listened like I did and hear the team on Twit talk about this thing. They all pretty much, saw it as being creepy. Like, what's it going to be hearing, around your house, and how is that going to affect the ads that they serve up to you? To me, I mean, I can do all of that on my phone. Why would I spend $99 to have this cylinder, on my, you can't put it on your coffee table unless you got a wall plug underneath it or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather have a plastic model of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, I think, than a Echo.
I don't know. You're gonna buy. You're gonna spend $99 for a separate device that really doesn't do anything more than, okay, Google.
Well, it's a Wi-Fi speaker.
Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson is 47 years old.
She's had a birthday. Okay, I guess, see, and that's what you're talking about doing, Jeff. You don't need to spend $99 to do that. You've already got it, on your phone. And if you're like me, my phone's normally within arm's reach anytime I'm in front of the TV.
That's true. Yeah. But I'm one of those bandwagon guys. And I can return if I don't like it. So we'll see what it is. It's the same thing with the for $20 I bought the Fire Stick.
Let me open the door for you.
Let me open the door for you.
Yeah, I bought the Fire Stick.
Listen, I think this is pretty neat. I think really what makes it neat is that nobody saw it coming. And
it's like the Chromecast. It just got announced. Bam. Right?
Well, yeah, but I guess here's the one thing that gets me though. If I look back over Amazon's products, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that some of their tablets have sold better than the Nexus devices. Okay, the Nexus tablets, but I don't think that Amazon has really introduced a great product. Okay.
No, their e-readers were the best one.
Since they have really not introduced. They've introduced a whole lot of mediocre products that have been priced very reasonable, but we all know the failure of the Fire Phone, and I guarantee you they'll be coming back with another one. This Chromecast device is pretty interesting. I will give you that, but still, yet I wouldn't. Here again, when I look at it versus the Google Chromecast, I mean, what are you going to be able to do with this thing that's not outside of Amazon?
Well, Echo has given a rise to some wonderful parodies out there. I just encourage you to Google Echo parodies and have a laugh on yourself.
And Brian Tatum has commented here on this subject. He's not going to pay money to bug his own house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But, Moto X is always on, right?
Well, yeah, and I guess, that's just, that's kind of like, if I post something pro Google Plus on Facebook, somebody always makes the comment, oh, I don't trust Google with my privacy. They don't even realize they're actually saying this out loud on Facebook,
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Hey, guys. Let's move on here. The Nexus Player is available, and it's got some compatible games. I've read some reviews on it. Buggy, not perfected still yet. I've even heard of some people are reporting that the video lags on it. Jeff, would you consider a device such as this a streaming box from Google? It's going to support your music, for your Google Play Music and your Google Movies. It's going to play Netflix, and it's also going to be capable for just a little bit more money to play some casual games. Is Google, have they hit the right recipe here?
Not for the $99 for me, I'd rather have Echo for $99. Just joking. I'm not a gamer anymore, so that doesn't really do it for me. And like I said, I bought the Fire Stick. I'm looking forward to see what apps I can get on that and see what they're going to put on that besides. And I have Chromecast, so I can stream whatever I want to my TV set now from whatever device I want. So the answer would be no, because I'm not a gamer.
Okay, Robert, as a cord cutter, you currently use Roku's, you've used Raspberry Pis with the XBMC media player. I know you've used Plex, you've some antennas, you've done several things to be a cord cutter.
Yes.
What do you consider the Nexus TV? Do you think this is an interesting device for the price, or is it lacking?
Well, you put that tag of lacking, and and the price, and for the price, it is lacking. If it was a little bit cheaper, maybe. But Jeff brings up a good point. We have the Roku stick, we have the Chromecast, we have the Fire Stick, and they all can kind of do these things as far as TV is concerned, and there's some gaming with them. I'm not sure that this really hit the right spot price-wise for what it does. It's not really a streaming device, but it's not really a gaming device. I think it's one of those kind of bastardized hybrid things that doesn't really fit one way or the other, and I don't think it's going to do well. You know, it's never going to be able to compete with an Xbox, and it's never going to be able to compete fully with a Roku. So, you know, it's just going to kind of sit on the shelf and simmer and never do anything. It's the wrong price point. Needed to be cheaper for sure.
Bruce, weigh in here, man.
Oh, muted.
I'm sorry. I was going to say this is a very, very crowded field, and you know, to make a mark in this field, and to go up against like the Roku, and you know the Chromecast, it's, you know, I can see where maybe somebody might think, well, having some gaming capacity might be good for a family that's traveling, but you know, kids are not going to want to downscale from the you know, the full gaming experience that they have with their Xbox and their PS4 on a vacation. By the way, you go to you rent a lot of cabins. What do you find when you get there? They already got gaming machines, some type of gaming machine there for you to use. So I think adding gaming on these devices doesn't mean anything at all to me. I'd like to see maybe a little more functionality as far as streaming and pulling in you know, different apps and channels and things like that. But I'm very happy with my Chromecast and my Roku, and like Jeff said, I look forward to seeing what the Fire Stick offers.
Yeah, I think, don't get me wrong, I'm pulling for it. I'm somebody who owns not one but two Google TVs, and first of all, it's the Google TV is pretty versatile. I do a lot of streaming, a lot of live streaming, several live podcasts. I enjoy the Twit Network. There's others, guys from Queens. But when I look at this device, I want to like it, but I don't see anything about it that compels me to really want it. Okay. And just like you three guys have already pointed out, so I won't spend a lot of time here, I've already got a lot of choices, content on my TV. And don't get me wrong, I'm pulling for Google. I would really like to see this happen. I do believe, guys, that this is a little bit better than the current Apple TVs, simply because these devices can stream. Apple TVs, you know, they're not set up to, you know, pull content out of a web page and stream to the unit. And so, but with that said, I'm still not sure Google's got to win.
That plus, you know, then the Chromecast just announced that Stars and some other apps are coming on board with
Yes.
that, with the Chromecast. Yep. So the only differentiator between this is going to be the gaming aspect, and if it's going to get, like Robert says, if it's diminished experienced,
well,
who's going to do it?
It's just different because basically with a Chromecast, you're starting from another device and streaming it to the Chromecast to your TV. These things right here actually have an interface to where you can select apps and interact with the interface. So there is some difference there, but the plus to these is you can cast to this Nexus TV, yes, Nexus player, just like you can cast to a Chromecast. So, you know, that you do have that aspect, but yeah, it is, you do have an interface that you're going to interact with. Hey guys, I'm going to move on. The Nexus 9, real quick. You know, the Nexus 9 got released, and I actually wanted to talk about this last week and had to cancel the show there last week. I apologize both to you three and the viewers. It couldn't be helped. It was a little, my son needed some assistance with a website for a final exam. But listen, the Nexus 9, The Verge reviewed it, and really, really ripped it. In fact, the author right out of the gate, as a subtitle, put, maybe the only way to beat the iPad is to build an iPad. And this review is very, very, very negative. Now, The Verge is known to be very pro iOS, and over several years has not really given what a lot of Android fanboys believe is fair reviews. Just to compare that, at about the same time that The Verge came out with their article, CNET came out with an article, and basically praised it. Did point out some weaknesses, but the CNET also went so far as to list several stats here, and if you're watching the video portion, I pull them up, and they're showing all these different metrics, these tests that they did. They're comparing the Kindle Fire 8.9-inch 2014 to the Google Nexus 9 and the NVIDIA Shield tablet. Google beat Apple in almost every one of these tests. Maybe they didn't finish first, but in every one of these tests that they did, the Google Nexus 9 beat the iPad 2. So I guess the bottom line here, and the question I have for you guys, Bruce, I'm going to start with you. You don't own a tablet. If you were going to buy one, okay, what would you buy?
You know what? I'd probably get the latest version of the Nexus 7. I don't need a tablet this big. If I were to buy a tablet, I would want a little better downsize on the tablet. I wouldn't get the iPad Mini. I've got too much invested in the Android world. I'd look for the latest version of the Nexus 7. Fair
enough, Jeff. If I gave you $500 and told you to go get a tablet, what would you get?
I would, since I already have the Nexus 10, right? And if I didn't have it, I would think I would be more inclined to go with the iPad. And even though I'm invested in the Android world, I think there's a lot more apps that would be more towards like guitars and GarageBand and things like that. That seems to be, you can get that on the iPad, different and iOS, different kind of apps that are more geared for the music side. So I think that's where I would go, only because of that. But because I struggle to find uses for my Nexus 10, and now I just use it pretty much as casting Netflix to my Chromecast and some other things, but pretty much that's it.
Robert, same question, man.
I got $500. What would I buy? Without a doubt, 2 Nexus 7 2013s. There is no way that you can justify a nearly double in price for what this Nexus 9 is. Tablets are in a declining market. To jump the price so high as compared to what the Nexus 7 was, or even what the Nexus 10 was, just boggles the mind. It just boggles the mind. I am not impressed. There was not enough done to the tablet that would make me say, oh yeah, it's worthy of doubling the price. So if I was going to buy a tablet, I'd buy 2 of the Nexus 7s, 2013 edition. For what a tablet is for, the Nexus 7 2013 does superbly well. Superbly well. I'm not sure why Jeff has trouble finding uses for his Nexus 10. I find lots of uses for my Nexus 7. It's a daily driver.
Yeah, not for me though.
Douglas Clement here has said that my problem is Google has not updated the older Nexus with Lollipop, while Apple is updating operating system, first gen iPad. Yeah. Hey, Doug, I've got an iPad too, and it's running the latest version of iOS. I hear you, and I'm going to say something else too, guys. As much as I love the Android platform, I'm very frustrated that developers are not building tablet-specific apps for these larger screen sizes.
Yep.
This is the honest truth, guys. Listen, I've got a 2012 Nexus 7. I've owned some other Android tablets. Some of them pretty cheap, but the iPad 2 is still a relevant device. I mean that thing's what? It's 4 years old now, and it's still a relevant device. Apple's still supporting it. It's got these apps. It does have some lag issues every now and then. Okay. But I guess I experience a frustration, and I agree with you. Who said it? Bruce, did you or Robert say that, tablet is a declining market? If you look at devices, I'm sorry, man, but I'm talking on the high end. We're talking the MacBook Airs, okay? The Surface Pro tablets. These are very, very nimble mobile devices. And then on the lower end, listen, Bruce and I just love our Chromebooks, okay? And they really are our devices of choice when we're mobile. So I do think that the tablet market is declining. And I'll just tell you, Google, I wish you luck. I think the Nexus 9 is a beautiful device, but I will be picking one up.
Yeah, you make a wonderful point. I mean, if you said I give you $500, would you buy a Chromebook? A couple Chromebooks. Yeah, totally. I use those. I use my Chromebook all the time. And it does everything I need it to do. So yeah.
All right, hey man. I believe I've covered all the articles. Hey, we're flying tonight, guys. We're just 37 minutes in. Hey, I'll tell you what, before we go on and do our app segment, Robert, I'll tell you what's the truth. You and your wife have a very, very interesting business, and it's that time of year to where your business keeps you pretty busy, and I'd like to give you an opportunity to share that with everyone.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about it. There's some things that you do that it's work and you make money and that's how you exist. There's some things you do and you just love it. And, kidsbelieveletters.com was a site that we started several years ago because we have so many nieces and nephews. And basically what it is it's a service where somebody can go and purchase a letter and certificate from Santa Claus for their child or their grandchild. Now, I know that all of y'all have done this, so y'all know the joy. You can hear it in their voice. You can see it on their face when they get the letter. The kids just get excited. They get this personal message from Santa Claus that talks about relevant things in their life. So our website, affords a parent or a grandparent the opportunity to go and pick out that special background and pick out the storyline and customize it to suit that child. And then we stamp it, we stuff it with some add-on gifts and put a stamp on it. It's got a North Pole postmark. By the way, we're one of a very limited number of people. We can cancel our own U.S. Post Office. We are our own U.S. Post Office. That's a big accomplishment for us. But it's a lot of fun. We get a lot of joy and a lot of happiness hearing from the parents and the grandparents how their kids or their grandkids reacted. And it's just wonderful. On our website, a lot of people ask, at only $6, why do you do this? You're obviously not making any money. And that's true. We really don't make a whole lot of money. But if you had the opportunity to see somebody smile and wish them Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and you know that you're going to get a positive response from them, wouldn't you do it? That's why we do kidsbelieveletters.com. We love it. It's a lot of fun. I encourage our listeners and viewers, come to the website, come check out what we do. If you do come, there is a discount code for orders now through Thanksgiving. There's a 20% discount, and you put in 2014 snow when you check out, and you'll get a 20% discount with your order. Again, we would love to have you be part of our family and share with the thousands of kids that we send these letters to all over the country. It's a lot of fun.
Very good, Robert. And I just got to say, as someone who has 3 granddaughters, they thoroughly enjoy. For the last 2 years, they've really gotten a kick out of those letters. So, yeah, job well done, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. It worked on our little nephew who was right at that stage. You didn't know if he believed or not, and that just snapped him right back to, I better be good.
Well, to be honest with you, I opened up Chloe's and I got to reading it. By the time I got done, I believed again. So there. All right, hey guys, let's do our app segment this week, man. Hey Brucey, you're up, my friend.
And I just want to say, ho, 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 I'm growing the Santa Claus beard. Hey, listen, there's a great app out there called Spreaker Radio, and it's an opportunity where you can do some online streaming of audio and so forth. I've actually even used it in a church service. I've streamed live the audio from a church service on the Spreaker Radio, and you can set up Spreaker to show up and broadcast on your Facebook page and all that. Well, they have come up with an app called Spreaker Studio. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with there. Spreaker Studio is an app that allows you to basically do some special effects and to have some music. So you're looking at some of the pictures here, and this is showing it on a tablet. I'll show you what it looks like on my phone. But you can build a playlist. Like, for instance, if you're a podcaster, you can have a podcast intro and a podcast outro. You could have an audio interview of somebody that you interviewed for your show. And then it's got all kind of funny sound effects like applause and laughter and things like that. And you can actually, do some live streaming. It's also got a chat function. So if you're streaming live audio on your Spreaker channel and people are watching there, they can chat with you. So you can kind of do everything with your podcast using this. And then there's some analytics that are available for it as well. Now I'm going to stop my and let you see. Are we still here? There we go. Okay. Hope you're able to hear all that. Sometimes doing screen sharing on a Chromebook is a little challenging, but this is what the app looks like, and I've got it actually set up now with my podcast intro and outro. So if I'm doing my Morning Manna podcast, and you have the option of turning the microphone on all the time or having push to talk. So in order to be able to hear these things, now I'll play them for you right now. This would be like a podcast intro here. And I could do the push to talk, and you don't hear that music, but I'm talking right now, and it's sending out that audio. And as soon as I lift up the push to talk, it comes right back again. And then I can stop that, and then I've got a piece of music that plays behind when I'm talking. And so it's really, really nice. And, of course, it's got some of the effects, it's got the, some those types of things, and got applause, and it's got, different things like that. But it's really neat. So if you played around with Spreaker Radio, Spreaker Studio will take you one step further. So check it out.
That's very nice, Bruce. I've got the website up here. It's a website, and it's an app to support the website, and
right.
Very, very interesting app. Very, very interesting. I will definitely be checking that out myself.
Can you record locally? Save a file locally?
I believe you can record locally.
Yes, it broadcast, podcast, or stream audio. Sounds like you can record locally to the device.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Very, very good. So, hey, Jeff, what do you got, my friend?
Well, I actually don't have an app, but I do have something I want to talk about. And my love-hate relationship with Amazon, which is a love-hate relationship with Google, which is a love-hate. It's always a love-hate relationship. I'm at the. Again, my Amazon Prime is almost up for renewal, right? So now I got to pony up the money again. But yet Amazon's beginning to offer more and more free services. Now they have the unlimited photo storage. They have these special little offers for the Fire Stick. If like $20, the free shipping. But I'm beginning to wonder the value in it, because I think a lot more of the manufacturers are offering free shipping as a default anyways. So 2-day free shipping, I could probably get that. I can wait 4 days and get it free from possibly another, the original vendor. Now, is that a big whoopee? So my thing is I'm constantly in this battle of value versus service. And Amazon always, just when it's kind of time for me to go through that thing and say no, they do something like the Fire Stick or this Echo or free cloud storage. So it's like a personal battle, because I'm probably going to end up renewing my Amazon Prime, and then hopefully I'll start watching with my Fire Stick more Amazon Prime videos on my TV or something. So they bundle the services. They kind of just it seems to always get something going to keep you hooked into Amazon Prime, and I think they're getting successful. Oh my God! So that's my rant, not a rant, my observation. Amazon.
Yeah, it's I think we've known for a while, Jeff. To your point, that anymore it's not about offering someone a product or a service. It's more about offering this ecosystem.
Exactly.
And if you look at all the Google services, I mean, hey, I'm a Google fanboy, I admit it. And if you look at all of Google services, and I think that's really what Amazon and to an extent Facebook, that's what these people are trying to do, to keep you using their stuff. If you're using their stuff, you're not using their competitor stuff.
Yeah, I agree. But the difference between Google perhaps and Amazon is I don't pay Google, a yearly subscription fee. Although I am paying them with, all that advertising, and they
Jeff,
get paid for search.
You mentioned the free pictures, unlimited pictures. How many pictures you got, dude?
My phone automatically sends them up to Google. I take a lot of pictures, and then I have to end up deleting them, right?
I guess that's just it. I mean, you've already got them on Google. It's kind of like,
right.
Man, I've got music sitting on Amazon's cloud. I've got music sitting on Google's cloud.
Exactly.
I've got it on my hard drive. I've got it backed up to an external hard drive. Come on. I mean, how much of that stuff do you really need?
And the funny thing is you don't really need it either, I mean, I just keep on posting pictures of Ella on Google+. It's the same damn picture.
There you go. All right, Rob, what do you got for us, brother?
Well, I tell you what, I do have an app for tonight, but it's not an app that I'm going to say that I'm an expert in, because I've really just started using it again. When I first started kidsbelieveletters.com, of course, we use Google Analytics, and I love Google Analytics. It tells me what my website visitors are doing, what they like, what they don't like, where they're from. It's great. When I started with Android tablets, there was a weak, and I mean very weak, version of Google Analytics, and it was so bad that I just said forget it. So I grabbed just this week the new version of Google Analytics, and I'm going to share it with you. I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing with it, or what I found useful so far. So if you have a website and you have Google Analytics tied to it, you can use your mobile device to get a quick peek. Now, this is certainly not the same as a full-blown desktop version of Google Analytics, but just looking right here, I can see I had 276 visitors. 244 of them were from the United States, 15 from the United Kingdom, and so on. This type of quick snapshot view is very important to a website owner. He wants to. So, for me, having it on my tablet or my phone gives me a quick view of what's going on, where the people are coming from. It offers just about all the same views. Like if I look here at this circle, it actually tells me where those 276 people, how did they come to our site? Were they direct? Did they come from Facebook? Did they come from an email campaign? I want to know. I spend thousands of dollars on Google AdWords, okay? Well, of course, I want to know if those campaigns are successful. This analytics allows me to do it. But if I just want a quick view, I like what analytics can do. In this particular case, let's say I wanted to look at, visitors from the United States. Well, now I'm looking at, the statistics from the United States, the bounce rate, the average duration. I'm not a pro at this on the mobile version, but I like that I have the quick, easy view that correlates to what my desktop view is. I can't do custom desktops or anything like that, but if I just want to take a quick snapshot look with my phone or my tablet, I can. So I like Google Analytics. I'm going to get a little bit better with it. Maybe I'll do another review a little bit later on. But if you're a website owner, I would encourage you, download the Google Analytics from the Google Play Store. Of course, it's free. And install it on your phone and see if you like it. If you see any neat tricks or have any options, email us. I'd love to hear about them.
All right, very good. That looks like a fun little app. That looks like something I'd enjoy, Robert. All right. Hey, guys, my app this week it's a very, very simple app. It's called Check My Carrier. And basically, it's asking you, is your carrier attaching? Yeah, that's terrible. This must be made by somebody in Indonesia. Is your carrier attaching tracking information or personal details to your network data? Mobile phone providers have been found to be attaching tracking IDs and or personal information like phone and IMEI numbers with every request you send. This app checks to see whether your carrier is doing this to you. It's got a web link that you can go, and it asks you to turn off your Wi-Fi and make sure you got your cellular data connected, and you got a little gray button down here at the bottom that says check my connection. I'm going to push that. And hey, it looks like at this time I don't have any suspicious headers encountered. But you know what? 4 days ago I did. So, listen, American carriers have been doing this for a pretty good while now. And if you want to see if your carrier is doing it to you, then go to the Play Store, do a search for Check My Carrier. It's free, and yeah, I don't know what you're going to do about it, but at least it'll tell you if it's being done to you or not. Hey, guys, do we have anything else?
I do want to just remind everybody, if you are going to go to kidsbelieveletters.com, that 20% discount code is 2014 SNOW. No spaces. Put that in at checkout. You'll get a 20% discount on the order of Santa Claus letter and certificate.
All right. Hey, gang, listen, man, we are a daily hangout. We been hanging out since about this time in 2011 is when most of us met. And head on over to Tech and Coffee. In fact, I'll just, since I've got it up here, techandcoffee.info. See that little TNC cup right there? Click on it. It'll take you into the main Google Plus Hangout room. Come hang out with us, man. Again, that's techandcoffee.info. Also, we have a Twitter and Facebook account. You can catch us there at Tech and Coffee 1. Our YouTube channel is Tech and Coffee. Check our podcast on Stitcher Radio and iTunes. Hey, follow us on Google Plus. Just search for Tech and Coffee. Look for that beautiful T and C logo. Questions, comments, snide remarks, send them to AJ at techandcoffee.info. Hey, guys. Hey, I hope we all get lollipop tomorrow. Everybody have a great week. Later, man.